Good morning. I'm still working on these beans. Let me get this stuff set here. Then we'll see if anybody else is doing anything today. I'm not the only person working. I don't think. All right. Did it start? No, now it did. Now I gotta get that muted. Okay. I'm gonna get these going. There's more to be picked, so I've got to get these caught up. Terry's went to the hayfield. She's going to cut again today and then probably start rolling some of it up tomorrow. Well, four obvious. There's four people come in. I see them up there in the little eye. Don't know who you are yet. Miss Paula. Hey, Miss Paula, what are you doing today? I'm canning beans again today. You would think we love green beans as many as I can, but I think we just we eat them, but I don't think they're our favorite. There's Kim. Hey, Kim. I'm just going to have you guys keep me company if you wanted to. Since I'm in the house by myself, just me and Heidi. Oh, I'm good. I've been busy. I've already been busy this morning. First thing, right after breakfast, I went up to the quilt house and sent off some orders and then got back down here to work on these beans. Good morning, Mary Webb. The longer they go, they're still pretty tender, but if I leave them too long, they'll get tough as they go along, won't they? You lazy today? Cooked breakfast so far? And I don't know about where the rest of you guys are, but it's going to be a hot one today. Second day of summer, and summer's here. Need to get off your butt and get some work done. I need to do some housework, but housekeeping always gets put on the back burner around here. Hey, Linda Brookshire. Linda says, I should be out there mowing the grass, but instead you're in there cutting up some blocks. I want to get back to sewing, Linda, but I got to do this stuff here first. Hey, and Linda, it's too hot to be out there. So that grass is going to quit growing when it gets hot, so you don't have to be out there. Stay in where it's cool and cut up those blocks. And Linda, I know where you can buy some more fabric when you get that cut up. You know where, too. Some of these are shelling out just a little bit. Not many of them. But I'll just get them beans out there. Already 88 here and feels like 94 and getting hotter. Well, I've got an inside job, and the rest of you need to find an inside job, too. Maybe we all need to go to the creek. Y'all want to go to the creek or the lake? I think creeks are cooler than lakes myself. Sometimes along the creek bank, there's shade trees and stuff. I put this morning, I had the other beans back here, back there behind me, but I put them up. They're not there no more. See, right there? I've carried them down to the pantry so I can can some more and put in that spot. And when they get cooled off, they'll get toted down to where they're going to be stored. So far, it's only been 27. So far, it's only been 27 of the beans. But if this goes as planned today, I'll have another 14. Mary Webb says it's supposed to be a gorgeous day. 82 for the high. That's not a bad temperature. I thought the other day, Mary Webb, y'all were just burning up the other day, wasn't you? Does the limping old farmer help can? Oh, the other day he was in here with me, not doing much, but he helped put the lids on the jars and put them into the canner, and he helped take them out. It just depends on whether he's in here or not. And he brought up the jars I needed to wash, and he carried some down to the pantry. He just does little odds and ends. A little of this and a little of that. He barely gets his own chores done. Oh, and he picked the beans, which is, I think, the hardest job, picking them. Anybody want to come up and read the chat or to talk with them while I keep on working? Let's see. He is a good helper, Miss Paula. Mary Webb said yes. It was over 100, really over 100, really any day but low it. And hello, Connie from Idaho. You know, I saw that up in Montana, they were going to have some like freeze warnings, really cold temperatures. And of course, I'm just mentioning Montana, but it's close to Idaho. Are you got cold temperatures up there, Connie? Are going to is it Sunday? By Sunday, it was going to be cold. I think that's what I remember saying. Yeah, picking beans is hard. Yeah, y'all say hi to Connie. There might be one or two more that come in here from Idaho, but right off the top of my head, I can't recall their names. But I think there's another one. Hey, there's Cheryl. Y'all know what Cheryl's doing this morning? I only give you one guess. And if you don't get it right, you can't even be on this channel if you don't guess what Cheryl's doing this morning. And I'm teasing, but y'all know she's working on a quilt, on that butterfly quilt. She got it all ready to pin together and quilt. And there's Pam Harmon. Hey, Pam Harmon. Hey, there's Paul. And happy Saturday Bean Day. I'll kind of be glad when I get caught up on these, but it's going to be just a few more days before I do. It won't be today because there's more of them that needs picked. And who said something about snow? Did somebody mention snow? Oh, Paul said it snowed? Are you serious? Or are you teasing? I don't know if he's teasing or if he's serious. What do y'all think? Is he serious or is he teasing? I think he's teasing us. It might, but I don't know. Crazy weather around the place. Who knows? No, okay. All right. He was teasing. He was teasing. Okay. We take teasing though, Paul. That's funny though. No snow, it rained. Let's see. It's cloudy and it's going to rain today. I'm not complaining. I'm a delicate perennial that needs full shade. That's a good one. I know. I hear you, but I think I get the heat and the humidity, and just it is what it is, and you have to live with it. Because down here in the south, it's hot and humid. Yeah. You had us going there for a little bit, Paul. I couldn't hardly believe it, but I thought, well, maybe you did. Maybe you did. And they missed you, Paul, last night. They said you was probably playing bingo. I think his Marta said, Paul's not here. He's probably doing bingo. Mary Webb laughing at Connie, laughing at Paul for the his rain snow comment. You won $20. What you gonna do with the $20? It won't do much, but it'll do a little something. I think I'm gonna shell that one out. Well, I'm kind of quiet. I ain't got just a whole lot to talk about. I got to keep my fingers going here. Keep working on these. Buy a bucket beans from you. Buy a bucket of beans. Well, you have to pick them yourself. You know, Terry won't just pick them for anybody. Even the daughter, we've asked her if she wants some beans. And Terry says, I ain't even going to pick them from her. She's younger than I am. She can come pick her own beans. Put it into next week's bingo fund. Yeah, Paul's gonna. I think a bucket of beans costs quite a bit of money, though. I don't know if $20 would buy a bushel of beans. It wasn't what it, guys. Because I think they're selling pretty high. Somebody that knows will have to tell us what fresh beans from the garden, selling for. Yeah, but you're way up there where it snows, Paul. You're not down here where it's hot. Y'all see that? He says he wished he lived closer. He loves beans. I'd put you to work. Terry'd put you to work. You get a rooster discount. Nose is itching. I'd like to go back and take the camera and do a live stream from Terry with Terry back in the hayfield, but I can't. I hadn't had time to go back there and just hang out with him. Had my own things to do up here and babysit, and I couldn't take the little girls with me, so I hadn't got no videos of him in the tractor. But maybe the summer ain't over and he ain't done with the hay, so maybe I'll get to that later. Y'all would probably like to go ride with him in the tractor. I think you might. I got a glass of tea here. Let me think. We planted them. We like to plant our beans close to Good Friday. And I can't tell you when Easter was or Good Friday was this year, but from then until now is about how long it was. So April, May. Somebody have to do the math on that. From about Good Friday until now is how long it took. Because down here, we always like to plant beans on Good Friday, unless it's raining and you can't. And then you plant as close to that day as you can. Cheryl found 2 pieces of 108 backing that I can seam together for this quilt. 1 yard each from your stash. Yay! You'll have that thing under your machine just here in a few minutes. And tonight you'll be saying, I'm putting the binding on this quilt now. I like Hullies. Is that what you're calling? Some of them call them Shelleys. I know Terry likes those. See, I got a few more of them. Not going to be a whole lot in there, but just a few. And who was it? It was Jane Martin last night that says that adds more protein. Was that what? Did you do the math, Paul? Was it 61 days? That sounds about right. From the middle of April. That's about right. Oh, but you'll get it pretty quick. You're not that. I know. I wish you still had your long arm too. I like my long arm. I do. Don't use it a whole lot, but I use it just enough. Kim got her dishes done. I think I got back here behind me. I got a few dirty skillets back there, but I'm pretty bad to reuse my skillets before I wash them sometimes. Do y'all do that? Ashley's a digging potatoes this evening. I tell you, Ashley, every time we go out to the garden, Terry will say, boy, we need to dig potatoes, but there's too many other things going on. But that's got to be done just the next day or two. And I'm kind of dreading it because that's going to be a hot job. What did we plant? We planted 50 pounds of potatoes, I think is what we planted. And I wish I had a few new potatoes to go into some of these beans, can them that way. But I'm not done, so maybe I will. Hadn't given up on that idea yet. Yeah. Is that what you don't wash your cast iron? You kind of reuse it sometimes, a few times before you wash it. That's what I do. Sometimes the bacon skillet in the morning, I won't wash it. I'll just use it again the next morning. And I'll tell you what, if you opened up my oven right now, I'm sure there'd be some skillets in there. But I'm not going to go over there and open it and prove it to you. But there is. I got a bowl full. I've got some over here already in the sink, so I'm going to go pour these in the sink where I was washing them to get them ready. Got one long armed and one short. Cast iron on a ceramic top stove. You're not supposed to, but I bet people do. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to put these in the sink full of water. Those from last night, I've already put them over there in the sink, and I was adding these to it as I come to it. And let's see, I see Elaine. Hey, Elaine. Hi, Rita and all in chat. You're still doing beans? I've been trimming my daughter's garden hedges today. It's 5 p.m. here in the UK and starting to rain now. A lot of us are under a heat advisory here, pretty close around here. Some of them though are getting snow, but no, not really. One of them was teasing us and said he was getting snow. Kim, that was what I was thinking. You have to be careful. You wouldn't want to mess your stovetop up. Until midnight Sunday. I haven't got a good weather forecast, but I know I've just been seeing where we're under one too, Kim. Yep. Y'all hear my phone? Let's see, go right here and check something. And I saw, just as I clicked over to that other place, I saw Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Oh, and Elaine do have that. They do have snow in June where her daughter lives in the UK. Huh. Sarah, are you sleeping good at night after your surgery, or does it bother you at night? Do you bump it in the night and have issues? Are you doing pretty good? Let's see, Kim. When I lived in Colorado, I saw it snow on the 4th of July. It moved. 4th of July in the early 60s and on Memorial Day in 1978. It's numb. No, it's numb. I'm not even on painkillers. Sarah Sarah just had surgery and she's been up cleaning house all morning. I started out with my chores up at the quilt shop, but then I come down here and got back on these beans. But I did. I got a package in the mailbox before the mail run. Put pillows around your leg at night. Ashley got released Thursday to do anything she wants to do. Connie said when she was a little girl living in Cheyenne, Wyoming, they had a blizzard on Mother's Day. It is, ain't it, Elaine? It is real predictable anymore. Maybe it's always been kind of crazy, but it seems more crazy, don't it? That's what we always say, Paul. They beat a snowball is what we say. Maybe that's an old. Do y'all say that all over the place? Beats a snowball. You wanted something to eat. Yeah, they turn out pretty, don't they? Always proud to get them in the jar and put back to the side. Oh, looky there. Susan Munger's making homemade apple pie filling. Got one batch in the canner and going to making the second batch. I still got a lot of canned apple pie filling from that I canned last fall. I guess it was. Was it last fall I did it or the fall before? On my canning stuff down there, it's not all from this year. Some of it's older stuff, but still good. Susan Munger, you got to come up here on the chat someday, on the panel someday, and let us watch you work on some of your stuff. Wouldn't y'all like to see Susan work on some of her stuff? I would. Give them away at holidays. Can't keep it in the house. I'd almost like to make an apple pie or apple cobbler. Maybe it ain't apple pie weather, but I'd eat one if I had it. Even if it was hot, you'd eat apple pie if you had one, wouldn't you? Eat any kind of pie. Just wish we had some pie. A dump cake, yeah. What was it the other day? There was I saw on Facebook, kept seeing that pecan pie dump cake. Kim, I only did apple pie filling once, and it wasn't good. I had gotten the recipe from an Amish lady, but See, I bet Paul would eat my apple pie if I made one. And Susan Munger's apple pie filling. Is that your favorite? One of my sister Denise, her favorite pie is apple pie. Now Terry's favorite pies, he's got 3 of them: a coconut cream or a cherry pie. And what's it? There's another one now. I went blank. Have to add clear gel. Yeah, you're not supposed to use cornstarch. You're supposed to use that clear gel in it, aren't you, Susan? Well, chat's moving now. Moving faster than I've been able to read it and keep moving my hands. A Dutch apple pie, where you put kind of the crumb stuff on top, the crumble on top, Boston cream, and then coconut cream. Yum. Oh, here we are. We're talking about food. Maybe when I get these in the canner, I need to make a dessert instead of soul or something. Yeah, clear gel, no cornstarch. The first time I made the apple pie filling years ago, though, I think I used cornstarch. I just started using the clear gel here a few years ago because the first recipe I had called for cornstarch. The crumble on the top, yes. Always baked quick bread and gave a loaf of that, plus sugar cookies and a jar of homemade jam for Christmas. The in-laws expected it no matter what. I've just almost quit making jams and jellies, though. Whoop, let me see. And hey, black walnut and gravies too. I missed a comment up there. Where'd it go? Yep, canned pie filling, box cake. Huh. That one has me thinking. That one's just too easy almost, Paul. That's having me thinking, wonder if I've got a box of cake mix down there. My mother-in-law was better at doing all this stuff than I am. So I probably wouldn't do some of this for her because she was so good at it. She's the one that had to teach me to make chicken and dumplings so I can make them like Terry liked them. And that Mary Webb, Kim's gift is a wonderful gift, isn't it? Very easy. Yes, it's very easy. And if y'all made them easy cobblers where you just do the self-rising flour and the fruit, kind of in the butter, not even the cake mix, it's kind of different, but I don't like them as well as the one with the crust, but easy. Fruit cocktail dump cake. That's just a little simple one. It's nothing much to brag about. Looky here. You know, guys, you know who that is? That's my sister Denise, and her favorite pie is apple pie. Hello, Sister Denise. Why don't you come over here and get you some green beans? You want some green beans? You can sure have some if you'll come by. You might have to pick them yourself. And you can bring me a tomato from your garden. She's already getting ripe tomatoes. And yeah, she's bragging about it. Yeah, y'all say, I'm not kidding. This is my real sister. So y'all say hi to Denise. Denise, my YouTube friends are saying hi to you. I told them, Denise, I told them that story up there at the family reunion when you told people I was boasting about the dumplings. And you know what? They told me I could boast all I wanted to about them dumplings. If I wanted to boast about them, I could. Let me move. I missed. Stop working just for a minute so I can read these. Denise, see, they're all saying hi to you. Let me see what Connie says. I love making apple pizza since the crust isn't my best baking feature. It's like a Dutch apple, but in a pizza pan, and nobody can see much of the crust. My students love the recipe. Oh, I'd like to have that recipe, Connie. And Denise, Paul says, hi, Denise, you boasting about your tomatoes. She was. And you know what? This morning she sent or was it yesterday? She sent another picture, and she's getting cucumbers. And then to the family page, she was making bread. She's a busy little lady. She's the baby sister. So I think she's spoiled because she's the baby. Are some of y'all babies that are spoiled? The youngest? She's the youngest in our family of siblings. Denise makes good dumplings too, though. I think she used my recipe. Keep talking, Denise. I'm just teasing you. We're just teasing you. We tease each other all the time around here. Doesn't that sound good, Kim? What Connie posted? I'd kind of like to have that recipe. Yeah, we're all think that recipe is good, Connie. Oh, okay. She's going to share it. Now, how are we going to get it, though? Are you going to type it on here? You're going to come up here and tell us, or how are we going to do this? Is apple pizza like a fruit pizza? Looky there. You see, sister, will you bring me some of those? I think she ought to bring me some, don't y'all? I haven't had time to cook anything much. We just barely eating because I've been doing other stuff. We're not starving, but I ain't fixing anything fancy. But I could sure go with some cinnamon bread and peanut butter cookies with a big old glass of cold milk. I like milk and cookies. And Denise has got with the little milk cow right now, so I'm getting my fresh milk from her right now. Let's see, I better read again. It's not moving. You're busy. Well, after they get done, how about after this afternoon? Hey, how about this afternoon? If I get caught up, we go down to the creek together, Denise. And Kim, one of my local stores has chicken leg quarters on sale for 59 cents a pound in a 10-pound bag. I'm tempted to go get it and make you some dumplings. Hey, Kim, I don't know if you have the room for it, but you can freeze chicken and dumplings and thaw them out, and they're just about as good as if you make a fresh batch. I know, can't you? I can almost smell that cinnamon bread and peanut butter cookies. Both of those have a smell, don't they? Marta says, hello, everyone. Everybody's here in here this morning is in Beanville. They just don't know it. They're just in Beanville visiting with me. Oh, there's Billy. Hey, Billy. Billy. Hi, everyone. Finally got it complete. Finally made it. Got company today. Just came in to cook lunch. Why did you dump the beans out of that one? These beans behind me. You want to see what's behind me? And some of these are these. I'm shelling some of the beans out of them. Let me show you what's over here behind me, okay? On the other side. Hold on. Let me get you around here. Can you see? I'm going to put as I'm doing them, I'm putting them in there. So I don't know if that's what you were asking about or not, but I'm putting them over there and I'm going to wash them. And after they're washed, I'm going to put them in this big pot right here, my 16-quart pot. But there's nothing in there yet. But those in the sink are going to go in here. And I'll heat them up and hot pack them when I put them in the jar. Did I explain it? Well, let me show you this. I just dumped them. That looked kind of Can you see the shelly beans in there too? Don't look at all the mess. But I've got to wash them. Okay, back over here because I don't have many more left. That's all that's left. Right there, just a few left. Okay. I'm going to dump this into this. I got a bucket of scraps over here. I'm going to dump this too. Got to plug back up. Back in my chair. Now, did that make any sense? Did I explain that? Email it. Okay, Connie's going to email it. And I'll have to share it later. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing right now, Connie. I know. Rita's missing her sweets too. I got to go this way. This is the way I got to do it. I tell you what, I need to, when we get the recipe, I need to email it to a bunch of you guys. Or put it, maybe I could put it on the community page. If I can do that right. All right, go back. And Denise, Black Walnut Homestead, wanting to know about the cow. And she's got a milking machine. You guys know I milk by hand, but she uses a machine. Or do you milk it, or does your husband milk that cow? I think her husband milks that cow. Susan's favorite cookie is peanut butter. Corn dogs in the air fryer. I think my husband's been wanting the corn dog. Don't ask me why, but he's been wanting the corn dog. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Rita needs to go take Mama and get some cookies, cinnamon bread, and tomatoes from her sister. Be nice visiting. Yeah, I was with Mama yesterday and Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. I was over at my sister's Wednesday to pick up some milk. And so I'll go back in a day or two. I'll wait till I need some more milk and I'll go back and get some more. I tell her like a day ahead of time, said, Bub, make sure you save me some milk. I'm not ready to quit yet canning them. If I got 27 and I add 14 more, I don't know how many that makes. I can't do the math in my head. But there's more out in the garden, so I'll keep them canning. Why are you shelling only some? Some of them don't need shelled. They're real plump and juicy inside, and some of them they're not as juicy. So I'm just shelling the bean out of them. It depends on the bean. Because some of them I couldn't get that bean out of there, and others they're a little more mature, and the bean comes out of it. I just play in it by ear. Oh, is that what she means? I didn't know. Sometimes I have to just guess. Now this one feels like it'll shell instead of, and it does. Can you see? Some of them just more mature, so the beans going to come out of it. I think the shell had a bad mark on it, so she took the beans out. And I don't see those bug bites. I don't like to accidentally get them in there either. But this one feels, see, it's a big old fat bean, but it still wouldn't shell out. If y'all can you see how that is? That's just really nice and juicy in there. But the next one may look kind of dry. So I just kind of what I think each one needs. Now those Blue Lake bushes, that I just did, they didn't, none of them need shelled. But see how that one is? I'm gonna get that bean out of there. And those, see, those are coming out. And these are stringless. They don't have strings. See, if you break it off, there's really just a little bit, but really no strings on these. I have been busy, Susan. Let's see. Do we have to give Connie our email? Whatever y'all want to, how you want to work that, Susan. Good morning, Ann Pickle. Oh wow, I'm way behind on this chat. I'm going to scroll down. Oh, 27 plus 14 is 41. Oh, babe. Denise's cow's a Holstein. I really wish somebody was up here to talk so I could keep working and y'all could keep talking. Time to get to bed, 11:37. Once I make the second batch, I'll have made today 14 quarts of homemade pie filling. Susan, you're just as busy as you can be all the time, too. Hey, Denise, Susan makes egg aprons. My sister has chickens, too. Denise, would you like an egg apron? Have you seen mine? I don't think I've showed you my egg apron. I have canned potatoes, but that's just something that I think I'd rather not have them canned. It is a lot of work, but I wouldn't mind having a few little new potatoes canned with these beans. I would like that, but I don't have any dug to go in here right now. Kim's new grandbaby. Heard from daughter yesterday. Baby has gained almost 5 ounces and doing really well. That's good to hear, Kim. They are. Denise, they are adorable. Mine's laying right over there. Denise, if you want one, I'll get you an egg apron from Susan. And I'll tell you what, hey, Susan, I want to get Denise an egg apron if she don't already have one because she gives me that milk. I don't pay her anything for that milk. Denise, are you still here? Let me see if she's still here. Make sure she don't have one, Susan, okay? Where'd you go, sis? She had to go take her cookies out of the oven. Is that where she went? Okay, I'll let you know, Susan. If she's already got one for some reason, I wouldn't want to get her another one. But if she don't have one, I'm going to get her one from you. Okay. Work on my beans. Are y'all still there? My chat's not moving again. And I pinned that link and nobody come up here to talk to me. Nobody. Left me up here by myself. And Susan's here, Marla's here. I thought everybody left me there for a second. Or for a little bit. Let me put you up on my TV so you can see Chad, okay? Does that mean you're going to come up here with me, Kim? Sarah's there ironing. Well, I guess I ought to expect y'all to be off doing something else while you're listening to. I know that. It's too hard when you're a busy person, you can't just sit there and not do something else. Because I'm getting something done while talking. Mary Webb's here doing housework and watching. I appreciate all y'all being here. I do. Some of them's ugly. Y'all see that? That's ugly. The dust bunnies were taking over. I know. I've got dust bunnies, and I think I've got cobwebs in the corners. I know. It's bad. I've told you guys before, it's bad. There's not a whole lot left here on my towel. Let me get them all gathered up here. Look, this is all I've got left. Just a few. There's Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hi. Black Walnut, the baby was born June the 10th. He's doing real good.
Hmm. And today's 20. So he's just 10, 11 days old. He's still little.
Yeah.
He's still a teeny little baby.
Yeah, he was. He was only 7 pounds and 6 ounces. And he was 19 inches long,
Uh,
but he's a healthy baby.
oh,
And Rachel's combining nursing and formula if he needs it, but he's getting along real good. So
uh, when are you going to go back and visit with them?
I really don't know.
But I know you're wanting to snuggle with him because he's still little. Don't you miss?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, they will be here July 6th, 7th, and 8th
Oh, well,
because Rachel goes to the dental college here in Kansas City for dental work. So I will have the oldest girl will go with her mom, and then I will have the 4 youngest ones. So I will have 10, 9, 2.5, and that new baby. And so
oh,
I'll have them for 2 full days. But
wow.
that's okay.
But that's a lot of work, though. What do you?
Well, I told her, I said, just be sure and bring his little swing. They've got one of those. It sits on the floor. It's not like on the big A-frame stands like we used to have.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those that sits down on the floor and it looks like an egg. And it swivels back and forth and plays music, and it's got a little arch on it that she can hang stuff from. And they're pretty nice. And
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I said, just be sure you bring that with you because if I'm going to have Colton too, Colton requires a lot of watching. He is far too busy for no older than he is.
And now, how old is that one, Colton? How old is Colton?
He will be 3 in November, so he's 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
And but I have my lower cupboards cleaned out to the point that I'm not sure he can get into very much trouble, but he's proven me wrong on several occasions.
Uh,
So
yeah, you turn your back and they're climbing on something, or yeah, you got to watch them every second. Sometimes
yeah,
you can't turn them loose.
yeah. Well, and he was actually the one that had the appointment with the pediatrician the other day, and he weighs 40 pounds. So there's no way that I can move him. If I got to change his diaper, I just have to say, Colton, lay down so I can do this. And he's usually pretty good about doing it. And his thing is that if he's wet, it's no big thing. But if it's the other, he will actually go get the diaper and bring it to me and say, "But peas." And so
Oh, no.
he does make it clear. So,
Mm-hmm.
but he just he's active, but he will have a brother and a sister here with him, and they're both real good with him.
Okay.
And so he and his brother Kasten get along really good. And Kasten can get him to do just about anything.
Okay,
And
that's good.
Kasten is 10, and he's a very tender-hearted little boy, and he loves his new brothers, and he just, even when Colton was so awful little, Kasten would sit and read to him and sit and play with him, and they're not just brothers, they're good friends.
Yeah, that's not. That's
And so, yeah, if Colton gets into trouble with their dad, he runs yelling, Kay, 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 for Kason to get him out of it.
uh,
Sometimes it works, but not
mhm.
always. Then, of course, I'll have the youngest girl, and Devin's fairly quiet, but I just I know that if you're on those 2 days, I won't be able to come up.
Hey, I
And
understand. Yeah.
yeah, Rachel she doesn't want them on camera. And so I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's because of some other family issues and they just they don't want to deal with it. So I told her, I said, I can understand completely. I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
So those beans look like they would be so good.
Yeah. This is the first time we've had these big kahunas, but I think they're going to be pretty good beans.
Have you tasted any of them raw?
I ate one. It tastes like a green bean to me. So
Well, that's good as long as they don't have a strong flavor to them.
I think they're going to be just fine. So,
I can remember when we were given all of those beans so many years ago. It would have been the summer before Rachel was born. So that's been 34 years ago. And this lady, we went to church with them, and they always planted this monstrous garden. And they had an acre and a half that they planted.
mhm.
And she had planted so many green beans, and she called my mom one day and she said, Joyce, have you got bushel baskets? And mom said, well, yeah. And she said, I am so sick of beans. Would you like some? Mom said, sure. So
Uh-huh.
mom and daddy come up and got me. And of course, Becky stayed home with her dad. And we went up to pick beans. And we got about halfway through the rows. And dad said, I'm beginning to think maybe we should stop. And Dorothy said, don't you dare. She said, pick every one of them. Because she said, Glenn, whatever you don't pick is going to the pigs.
Uh-huh.
And so we went ahead and picked, and we wound up with 5 full bushel baskets and 3 half bushels. Like
And
I said,
that's a lot of beans for one picking.
oh, man, I tell you what. But her husband was going along behind us, and he was pulling the plants as we were cleaning them off.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a big old wagon type affair that he was putting them in. And Dad asked him, he said, what are you going to do with those? Bob said, these are hog feed. He said, Dorothy and I are both sick of them. He said, we've got so many beans in that house. He said, she ain't going to have canned beans for 2 years.
Years, yeah. Well,
And so,
you know how you do. You when you got them, you can them because there might be next year you might not get a bean.
yeah,
We've had that
yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Well, I know where we had mom and dad's garden spot, um, it was just every time we'd plant beans, those bean beetles would get in there and we would have pods just setting on, and dad would go to check them and those little tiny worms would crawl out of the new pods. Dad said, we're not planting any more beans down here. So that's why we got given so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we wound up with 120 quarts over 3 days. And it just, but mom had a 7 quart canner and so did I.
Uh-huh.
Fish.
Yeah, fish. Hey, why don't you come on up here and chat with Kim? I'm fixing to shut my camera off and go to the sink behind there and wash these beans. What I'm fixing to do. I got them all broke. So so fish, why don't you come
Please
up
come
and
up,
visit
Fish.
with Kim?
Please come up and talk to me.
I'm fixing to go put my hands in the water, the sink back there and wash beans. I'm still seeing 45 on the little eye up there. That's not that's not bad for folks
That's
in
a pretty good
business.
deal.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
I keep
I
it.
know when I woke up yesterday morning and saw y'all, I thought, my goodness, what on earth is Rita doing?
I just
And
couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep, so I got up and sewed.
yeah,
Oh, why you been fishing this morning?
oh man, did you catch anything, Fish? Fresh fish sounds so good.
Mhm. Okay, Kim, I'm turning off my camera and I'm going to be back there washing beans. I'll be
Okay.
able to hear you because I'll just be right back there. So,
Okay.
but it's all yours for now. So
Oh dear.
it is. You know how to talk. I've heard you. I've heard you talk.
Oh, yeah, I do know how. The guy that I grew up with as my oldest brother, or my older brother, his mom and my mom were the very best of friends, and he did not have siblings at the time I was born. He was 12, and he would come and babysit with me while mom had to run errands. And she come home one day, and he was sitting with me in the floor, had me sitting in his lap, and he said, "Could she be my sister?" And
Uh,
mom said, "Well, I guess, Bill," but she said, Glenn and I kind of need to keep her here with us. He said, "Oh, I don't want to take her home. I just need a sister."
aw,
So up until a year and a half ago, I had a big brother that was 12 years older than me.
aw.
And it just, he was quite a guy. And he lived in, oh my goodness, it's a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. And he had moved down there because he had arthritis real bad. And the last 5 years, he had been dealing with some heart issues. He'd had 2 open heart surgeries. And he also had a an odd form of cancer, but they were treating it, and he was getting along good. And all of a sudden, I got a phone call from his wife, and she said, "I thought you needed to know that Bill is gone."
Aw.
And so, but I've got some pictures of him, so it's okay. He's one of those I'm pretty sure I know where he is, so it's all good. I'll get a chance to see him again later and
Yeah.
pick on him. He used to tease me about him being the oldest and how I needed to behave. And I said, "Yeah, you're older, but I'm younger and faster." He told me one day, he said, "Yeah, but age and treachery reach youth and shenanigans any day of the week." And I'm like, now I know what he was talking about. Rita, do you think your potatoes will keep?
I don't know. We're actually kind of worried about them because all the water that's been on them this year.
Yeah.
So we haven't dug them yet. We need to, but I'm kind of worried about them. So
I wonder if you, um, an old farmer that used to live, not, hi, fish.
hey,
Hello. Let me turn this down because that ain't going to vibrate. Now, vibrating.
How many fish did you catch?
I caught 3 crappie, just enough for
oh,
dinner.
oh,
Wow.
sounds like a plan then for you. Crappie
Probably,
for dinner.
probably ought to have a shower before I come on here, but anyway, here I am. Hmm. Since
You
you glad,
you stay in out of the heat though when it gets hot, fish. Don't you be out in that heat.
that's why I went early. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. My windows don't roll down on my van. The air conditioner quit working, so I'm in a real mess with that. Yeah,
Oh my.
Hmm.
yeah.
So you're kind of in a rolling oven.
I'm telling you. Had a
Whew.
real deal last night. Me and my friend, well, she's my helper. Uh, we put that hummingbird feeders out yesterday and refreshed them all. And there must have been a raccoon up there in the tree watching. And I'm telling you, he got put 2 of my uh, shepherd's hooks on the ground, stole one of my hummingbird feeders. Can't find it,
Oh no.
but I got trapped.
Oh,
I'm mad because he broke that one. I managed to fix it, but I'm really mad about it. He's gonna pay for it.
I don't blame you.
Mhm. Yeah, he's gonna pay for that. So I'm mad. Mm. Yep. You know what? They don't like red pepper. So when I bait the trap tonight, I'm gonna put red pepper in his food, and he's not gonna be any the wiser of it. And he's gonna get in there and he's gonna get that bait. And when he does, it's gonna be too late because it's gonna close on him, and he can't get no cold water to cool himself down. I couldn't get cold water to calm myself this morning. I had to go fishing to relieve my tension. Oh, I was mad. Oh, okay.
God
I don't
don't
know.
blame you.
Oh, I got that mad all over me. Think about it. Boy, I'm raising Candy.
We used to have 3 hummingbird feeders that hung on the front porch. And then across our driveway in the hickory tree, my husband had hung up a couple of oriole feeders. And of course, then we had just a couple of regular bird feeders out there that we kept out.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't have so much trouble with the coons getting into it, but the one bird feeder, oh my gosh, the squirrels were just terrible. And I told my husband, I said, is there a specific season on squirrels? He said, not as far out in the country as we are. And I said,
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
But they
Well,
learned quickly.
I ain't gonna tolerate it, and I'm gonna try to smile now. I think I got it too much. Uh,
We had more trouble with those darned old red wasps
yeah, I had them.
getting up
I got
around.
hit in the head with one the other day, and then got me
Oh
on my
no.
head. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I live right here at the edge of the woods. Yeah,
Hmm. Oh, and
yeah.
we had those mud daubers. Oh my stars! And I had people tell me, because I'm allergic to the dumb things. I can eat honey just fine, and I can use stuff that has beeswax in it, and I'm fine. But if I get stung, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And I was always watching for those things. And I had a fella tell me one time, he said, oh, those old mud daubers won't sting you. They're completely harmless. Well, I don't know what kind of mud daubers he had, but the ones we had would sting.
Yeah.
And I told my husband, I said, you better find a way to get rid of those things. And he went to our local farm store and talked to one of the guys there. He said, you know, she's got an allergy to these things. What can I get to eliminate them up by the house, especially? And the guy put him on to something and he sprayed it around. It took care of those old paper wasps that had built that great big old hive. And we didn't have that much trouble with them right there around the house. And so, but if we was out in the timber, I watched pretty close.
Well, I got that. Well, I'm gonna try to tell you. Slinky. You can put a slinky on your pole for squirrels, and when he does, that turns back up, and boy, he's out of here. That's how you do a
Oh,
squirrel. Yeah,
oh my goodness.
that's how you
Well, I
get rid of
remember
it.
the girls having those to play with.
Well, all I watch is YouTube. Period. I don't watch TV. I
Yeah.
watch how to do this and how to fix that, and you learn a lot of
Hmm.
stuff. Get on there, and
Yeah.
I learned about Rita on here. How about that? You gained a sister out of it.
I learned about fish.
Mhm. Yeah, we need to go fishing, you and I. We sure do, girl.
I wish I was close enough to Rita to go down and shop in her shop.
Mm. I just wished I lived close enough to go visit Rita. Yeah, I sure
That would
do.
be fun.
Yeah, it would. I'd like to meet her face to face. One of these days we will over in glory. If it has to be that way, it'll be that way. But I'll meet her someday.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna wash jars behind you now. I've got them in the pot.
I wish I was there to help you, Rita. I really do.
Yeah. I wish you was too. I really do.
I can't read the stream. If anybody's speaking to me, I'm not trying to ignore you, be rude, but I can't read the stream. Uh,
Actually, I think that instead of chatting with you, I think they're just listening. So just entertain them. Y'all just talk to them. That's
entertaining.
what they're doing, Kim, isn't it? They're listening to us while they're doing their house chores, aren't they?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what
And I
I
know
think.
there's nothing showing up on my TV screen that there's any chat even going on. So
I think they're just listening. So y'all sing them a song or do something. Tell them a joke.
I won't sing this morning.
Oh, I know.
You and me
But
sing.
I said they want to be entertained. So fish, tell them how to catch it. What the bait they need to use. Tell them something. Just make up something. So
Don't want to make up nothing, do you? Yeah. Oh my.
what did you use for bait this morning?
I'm sorry.
What did you use for fish bait this morning?
I use this little rubber lure I like to use for crappie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know which one is. That one over there is not in tune with this one because that one's going faster than this one or something.
See, Marla. See, y'all go ahead with your stuff. She had to go put clothes in the washer. We understand, don't we? Because when we're listening to other people, sometimes we go do other stuff too.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Really
cooking in there.
cooking, okay. I'm not. Well, it's 12. It's lunchtime. Billy come in and get some more corn dogs. I'm not making any lunch. Terry's not here. He took a water jug with him and went to the hayfield.
Hey, Marla. I'm glad you're with us. Sorry, can't see you. Oh, no. Anyway, well, it's a nice day, only it's too hot. I still ain't got my pool up. I'm telling you, it's time to get this stuff going. I'm tired of waiting on this stuff. I got to hire me a new help.
Mm-hmm.
oh my goodness, Susan, that's awesome.
Get some more
She
corn
gets some
dogs.
more pie filling now. Is that what I missed?
My late husband used to, whenever we'd clean chickens, of course, we didn't eat the liver, the gizzard, or the heart. And he'd always say, "Now you just put that stuff down in a bag. That's fish bait." And once in a while, if the necks weren't real good, he'd say, "Just put that down in there with it." And that's what he used for bait, especially if he was going for catfish. And we had enough little streams and creeks around us, and there was, my goodness, half a dozen big lakes. And we had two great big reservoirs within just a few miles of us. And one was only about a mile and a half away, and the other one was about 9 miles away. And there was all kinds of farm ponds that he had permission to fish in. And so we always had a big supply of bass and crappie and catfish. And once in a while, he'd catch a good sized bluegill. But crappie and catfish were the two that he really liked to fish for. And we had a lot of it. It honestly, it wasn't unusual for me to have 6 to 7 gallons of fish frozen in the deep freeze. And it worked out. But
Of
we
course,
all just really liked fish.
sure. Yeah, I usually have
Oh
a.
my goodness.
I can't get out like I used to. It's hard to get anybody.
Yeah.
They're all too busy.
Yeah.
But I don't eat catfish. I
And,
wouldn't touch that. I don't eat bass. I don't touch no perch. I used to eat perch. I used to love perch when I was little. I don't care
mhm.
for it. I just eat crappie and sand bass, and that is it. I just that stuff
Mhm.
is nasty. Tastes like dirt, and I don't want it. Yep.
Oh, the way that Dave did the catfish, of course, he filleted everything.
Look,
And
I've been doing this stuff for
he had,
years. No way you can do
he,
catfish to get the taste out. I will not eat it. Now I just yeah no.
well, one of
No.
my sisters-in-law told me, she said, I'm going to teach you how to do that. She said, it ain't nothing like fixing trout. And she showed me how to work with it. Of course, with it filleted, then I would just have a pan of ice water with salt in it out there wherever he was working to clean the fish and everything. And I'd soak it out in that for a little while and then put it in a bag of water to freeze it. And the catfish that he got never did have a dirty or a muddy taste to it. And of course, the bass that he always caught was the largemouth. And oh my goodness, he and one of my cousins come home one morning with a 9.5 pound bass. And we had bass for breakfast that morning. And then we had it for supper that night. That thing was huge, but oh man, it tasted good.
I just can't eat.
Yes, Linda.
No,
Rainbow trout are delicious. Of
no.
course, I grew up in Denver, Colorado, so I ate a lot of them.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I've been a fisherman most of my life. I've caught a
That's
bunch of
the,
fish. I've eaten catfish. I've eaten all that stuff. Yeah. But, one day I was out fishing and I had a little bit of everything and I done a taste test. And ever since then, I ain't eating that stuff no more. I don't think the trout never was. I mean, I like to catch them. I like to catch catfish. I just
mhm,
don't catch a big catfish.
yeah,
He goes back in the water. Yep, right there. Yep. Yeah, I don't even like to clean them. When I go fishing, I catch the top five crappie, and I put all the rest. I
mhm,
just put back in the water if they're not bigger than the one I got in the basket. And I'll take them
yeah.
home. My hobby is to catch them, not to clean them, but I sure do love to eat them. And I'd freeze. I'd fill my freezer every summer, so I'd have plenty to last me over the winter, and then I would eat fresh fish all the rest of the summer. See, and
Yeah.
in the fall, then I'd fill my freezer. But I love to eat my crappie and sand bass. I can eat so much. Yeah, you'd think I was a seagull.
What's the difference in a regular bass and a sand bass?
Yeah,
Sand
I
bass.
wondered that too. But
They're
I thought, well,
well,
that might be a dumb question, so I didn't ask him. So,
the look the looks are different and quite a bit different. One's silver and one's kind of green looking. The bass, regular large
Uh-huh.
mouth, yeah. And then the sand bass is white, look more like a striper, except they don't have stripes. They got
Oh,
like, but not like a crappie because they're kind of long. Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah.
Hmm.
I used to make my
And
own lures. They make bass lures and put the hardware on them and everything. Yeah, I enjoyed
yeah,
lures and jigs and yeah. I'm an old time,
yeah.
yeah, old time fisherman. Yep. Mhm.
When we was first married in 1978, my husband was a construction worker and he'd gotten a job up in just outside of Missoula, Montana. And we actually lived in this little tiny town called Piltsville, and there was 12 houses there and a volunteer fire department. And a block and a half away was the town of Bonner, Montana. And all that was in Bonner was the local post office and this humongous sawmill. And of course, Missoula is the junction of 5 different rivers. And so the fishing up there was fantastic. And a friend of my husband's had told him, about fly fishing. And Dave said, well, he said, I don't know that much about it. And so the guy took him out, showed him how to work the fly rod, and then sat down with him and taught him how to tie a bunch of the flies. And he had a pretty decent collection of them. And as long as we was up there, he could catch trout on those things, and it just worked out beautifully. And so, but once we moved down here to Missouri, there's only a few places that you can trout fish here. And so he hung up the fly rod, and he put all of his lures away, and I don't know whatever did happen to him. After he died, there was a bunch of stuff stolen out of the machine shed, and I never did know what happened to it. I got a good idea who took it, but I never could positively prove it. But
What you talking about? Yep. And I've been there. Yeah, they stole my big rods and my big surf rods and stuff. Yeah, I've been through that.
mhm.
And the good Lord
Hi,
knows.
Dave, how are you?
Ooh, and the good Lord knows. Are you still cleaning jars, Rita?
Yes. Yeah.
I so wished I was there to help you do that stuff.
I got 14 on the wash, and they're over there, and I wash and rinse 2 or 3 of them, and then put them over here on the towel beside this pot. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm washing them and then put them over here. So because my beans are heating right here, so
Yeah.
Awesome.
so I'm just all spread out all over the place, and over there's washing. So
Yeah.
Oh, Rita, if I was there, I'd definitely jump in and help you.
I know you would. I know all of you would. I know that. So
Ain't nothing
I
like
used
being.
to love canning.
Mm,
I don't think I enjoy it as much as I used to. I think it's turned into work. But I'm always proud when I get in the jar, though. But I think I've reached the point I'd rather be doing something else. But you have to. We still think you need to try to take care of yourself and put up what you can.
Mm-hmm. I am still very much that way, even though I live alone. I've got resources that I need, but I know that just like with the chicken, I know I had somebody ask me one day, they said, why do you even mess with it? You can buy it in a can. Well, yeah, I can. But if I do it myself, I know exactly what's in there. I know exactly how it's been done. And I've got one of those big electric pressure cookers, and it's one of the big 8-quart deals, and I can 4 pints in it at a time under the pressure. And I love it. But I put the chicken in that to cook it to begin with. And most of the time I can get that whole 10-pound bag of chicken in there. And just arrange it careful. It makes the most delicious broth. And I took the 2 pints of the last chicken that I had canned and the 3 pints of broth that I had extra. And I took it back to my daughters because my son-in-law said, Ma, is there any way that I could talk you into either chicken and noodles or them awesome dumplings like you made before? And I said, sure, I'll bring the stuff to make it. And I had to take a spatula, and he said, is that just chicken fat on the top? And I said, no, honey, that's what's called schmaltz. And he says, ooh, the good stuff. Yep, the good stuff. And
what did you say it was called again?
Schmaltz. And it's a Jewish term. I don't know.
I don't believe I've ever heard that before, unless I've heard it from you and forgot it. I don't think I've heard that.
But it's the concentration of the fat and a tremendous amount of flavor that forms on top of the broth when you can it. And it turned out so good. It seriously, it looks like butter. But oh man, it turned out good. But I know that when I can my own chicken or my own beef, when I can find stew meat on sale or even roast on sale, I'll cut it up and can it in a jar. I don't add salt to that because depending on what recipe I'm going to use it in, it's easy to get too much salt in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've got a big farmers market every Saturday. It's actually kind of downtown Kansas City, but it's right next to the Missouri River. And it's always been referred to as the river market. And probably about July, they're going to start having so many fresh vegetables and stuff at just crazy cheap prices. And so, yeah, I want to go. And they open at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And now the last 3 years, I haven't been able to go. But I'm really hoping that I can get around some Saturday morning early enough that I can go down and walk around. I just don't like to go by myself. So I'll have to see if I can find a friend of mine here to go with me. But I really want to be able to do that. And I've got several pint jars that I can go ahead and can in. So, and with it just being me, the pint jar is all that I need. If I have company, I can always open an extra jar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay with me. I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, right.
Fish, where do you live?
Oklahoma.
Huh. Okay.
Almost to Stillwater.
All righty.
Where did you live?
I live seriously, I'm 3 blocks from the Kansas City line in Independence. I am
Oh,
just barely in Independence.
yep.
But that's okay with me.
Yeah.
I'm only about, I think the way they've got the highway set up now with all the road construction, I'm like 9 minutes away from the big ball stadiums. And Interstate 70 is only 3 blocks south of me. So, and I'm
Hey,
only 10 miles east of the Kansas state line. So,
oh, yeah. Hey, Rita,
Yeah.
where's Rhonda?
Mm, I don't know. She reckons she's driving home today. She's
No,
been in Texas. I don't know.
I don't know. They can just
She
kind of.
she had all week she had done Bible school, and I think it was over last night, and she was tired, but I don't know if she's packing up, going to come back to Arkansas because she had went to Texas. So I don't know where she's at. Kim, are you close to Silver Dollar City? No,
no, actually, I'm not.
I'm probably
Silver
close.
Dollar
Yeah,
City.
I'm probably closer
Oh
to
my.
the city than you are. So
Yeah, you probably are. Um, I had a friend that was down there not too awful long ago, and if memory serves, she said it's just about a 4-hour drive down there from where we are here. So,
all right, I got 5 or 6 more to wash, and I'm scrubbing, 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 scrubbing.
Now that
I'm
you
not.
mentioned
I'm
that,
not gonna. I'm not. I don't sterilize them before I put them in the canner. I just wash them real good.
Gotta have them clean.
So, like I said, I can hear you guys. I'm back here.
A
I
lady
used
that
to beer and wine. You had
used to
to
be.
sanitize them bottles, and well, it was a lot of work, but it was fun. I loved making that beer. It's years ago though.
Making what?
I made beer and wine.
You made beer? Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that sounds interesting. I'm not a
It was
beer drinker, but it sounds interesting.
it was fun. I had a whole bunch of it. I ended up, of course, I didn't hardly drink it. I ended up giving it all away.
Well, don't tell anybody, but I made wine before.
Well, you
It's
could
been
do
a
it
while,
legally.
but
I was doing
that
it
that
legally. I
was
would have
kind
a
of
license.
interesting. And Terry said it was good, but I'm this type of person. I like to at least try things at least a few times.
Right? Yeah. Well, I
want to try making some sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I love sauerkraut. And it seems like it'd be so easy to do,
Yeah.
but
well, here in Oklahoma, Rita, it's legal to make wine and beer, but you have to have a license, and it don't cost you anything. You just call them and tell them you want a license, and then you got to get it notarized, promising that you won't make more than 250 gallons a year. I think it is. Which, who in God's earth is going to have that much anyway? You know.
wow.
And so that's
Whew.
basically all it is. It don't cost you anything, but you do have to have that notarized and mail it back to
Well,
your license. It's that easy. So I was doing it legally.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want you breaking no laws now, Fish.
Not anymore. Now I used to be pretty crooked. I grew up. And I've been to jail, but just a couple of times. Once for public drunk, and another time for breach of promise. Yeah. Oh well, that's stupid stuff. I've never been to penitentiary. No, lived a pretty clean life, and now that
I could remember.
I live for Jesus now, so yeah,
That's a good way to be. Isn't he awesome?
yes, he is. He sure is faithful.
Some days when I stop and count my blessings, I'm amazed.
I stand it all. Just here on earth, I stand it all.
I can remember my mom telling one time when her sister, just older than her, and the man that she had married, they hadn't been married too terrible long. And my grandmother was a very devout Christian woman. And she went over at their house one night and for supper, and they was sitting in the living room having coffee afterwards. All of a sudden they heard this pop and couldn't figure out what was going on. And anyhow, wasn't very long and they heard it again. And my aunt looked at my uncle and she said, maybe you best go see what's causing that. He said, oh, I expect it'll be all right. And they lived in a little tiny town there in Kansas. And pretty soon they heard it again. And my grandmother looked at him and she said, now, Randall, I would imagine that you probably had better go and see what is making that noise. He said, oh, Mom, it'll be all right. It's just
I think
fine.
I think I know what it was popping, but
It,
I'm going to finish the stories.
he had made a batch of beer and he got the deals on the bottles too tight and it was exploding. Well, my grandmother had already figured this out. Well, finally, my uncle got up to go see about it. And he said, oh, my goodness. Grandma said, Randall, all you had to do was loosen the lids just a little. She said, so I don't care if you make beer. She said, you know I won't drink it. And Mom said everybody got such a big laugh out of it. But she said he never did try to make any more of it.
But I had put some corks on the wine bottles, and if they wasn't just right, they'd pop off if you put it in there.
Yeah.
So I was going to say it was wine, but if it was beer, I guess beer does the same thing. But those
it was just, I guess he wound up losing most of that batch of beer that night.
Y'all come see me if I make some wine. I'd like to try some again someday. Ashley, where'd you go? Ashley was here and then she left.
Oh.
Come back, Ashley. Well, she was up there, wasn't she? But well, she back again.
Okay.
I had a cousin there for a while that they had a whole bunch of wild blueberry and wild blackberry vines, and he combined the two fruits and made wine out of it. Oh man, that stuff was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
Had looked up YouTube videos to make the wine, and it was blueberry wine. It was real easy to make. I had to have lots of sugar and had to buy certain yeast to make it with, but it wasn't hard. What's all that racket?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I know when I was in high school, I dated a kid that his mother used to make red beet wine. She made celery wine and she made carrot wine. And that red beet wine, oh man, that stuff was good. And it was the most beautiful color.
Kim, you're not supposed to know that. So.
I was only allowed to taste 1 tablespoon of it because I was not used to drinking. That just didn't happen in the house I was raised in. And so I was only allowed to taste it, but what I tasted was absolutely amazing. And it was the most beautiful color. And I can remember telling
that was his good mother, for you because beets are good for you. That was a healthy wine.
I remember telling his mom, I said, if I could find fabric this color, I would be just happier than anything. And I have never yet found anything to match the color of that wine. It had the flavor on it was just real smooth. I only tasted the celery wine once, and it reminded me of Cairo syrup. I didn't, but she said it's a sweet wine. The carrot wine, whew, that stuff was spicy, and the carrots made kind of a rosé colored wine, and the only reason she made it was to cook with. And the same way with the celery wine. Now the beet wine, they drank, and she cooked with it on occasion. That's what she used when she made her beef bourguignon, and she was an amazing cook. And she made a lot of it.
How are you, young lady?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am blessed beyond anything I'd ever think.
How are you feeling now, Ashley?
I'm feeling good. I got released Thursday to go back to normal activities.
Yay.
Good.
Oh. I wish I would. Oh my goodness! But I went fishing. I had a good time. I didn't go very long. I wasn't gone even an hour, but I caught 3 nice crappie and brought them home, and I'm gonna have them after a while for supper.
That's awesome.
We're going fishing this evening.
Yay! Good luck to you. I sure hope you do as good as I did this morning. Just bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Good.
It's too hot here right now to go fishing.
It is cool too. It's really steaming hot out there.
It's like 100 degrees here.
don't
Oh
know
my
what it,
goodness. I don't know how hot it is here right now. I know at 10 o'clock this morning it was 88 degrees and felt like 94. I thought, nope, my happy little self ain't going anywhere outside. I'll just stay right here in this apartment.
You know, when it's real hot, sometimes the air conditioner won't even cool off the place like you want it to, though. Or don't hear.
That's one good thing about the way that my apartment is situated. It's just, I've got a huge oak tree in front and a great big one out back. Um, I would feel very safe in saying that the base of those trees, probably a good 36, 40 inches across, they are massive. And my apartment is halfway below ground. So it's pretty easy to heat and cool. And this morning, my air conditioner's only kicked on twice since 6 o'clock this morning. So it's staying very comfortable in here.
I live in a rock house, and it has a shingle roof under a metal roof, so I stay pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, that's how mine is. Shingle under metal, yes.
That's how our log home was.
Going by the temperature on my phone, it feels like 90 degrees.
Oh, well, you're just a shade cooler than I am here then.
I got
I
my
have
husband out painting, so it's good.
Ah, there
Lady,
you go.
it's gonna get too hot out there.
He's painting our railings. He's painting for
The
me.
railing, okay, so it's not a house or something.
Yes, he's painting underneath the shade in our under on our porch.
Ah,
the winery there makes dandelion wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had the dandelion wine.
And I
It
bet
makes
you that would be another healthy wine, though, dandelion.
mm-hmm.
And I did make some muscadine wine. Now that stuff was good too.
I
I
made some
tasted
vanilla
it.
wine out of this world. It was, you boy,
Uh,
you did very careful with it. Ooh, it was strong.
uh,
I've had dandelion greens in a salad.
but not dandelion wine. I've never had dandelion
No.
wine, but I wanted to try some when I was doing that wine stuff. But
I
I
don't know
didn't.
what is that. Dandelion jelly.
Yeah, I made dandelion jelly. It's kind of like reminds you of honey.
Hmm.
Dandelions always tasted bitter to me. That's all I wanted. That was bitter stuff. Oh, it was bitter.
Marla says I'm 83 with a real of 94.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
But that, hey, that's not as bad as ours down here, Marla. The other day, Marla had on a jacket when the rest of us were melting.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I got to admit, when I was in the grocery store the other day, it was it was in the mid 80s, and there was a kid running around in there with a hoodie on,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
thought,
but that's
how
what
in the world?
kids do that anymore, though, don't they?
I knew it. Had the hood up and everything, and I thought, that just don't look right.
Mm-mm.
I'm getting ready to start me a project.
What you gonna do?
I'm going to make a sea. Hold on, I'll show you. I'm going to make me a seashell reef out of my seashells I brought back from the beach.
All right now. Awesome. That's awesome.
I brought about 4 bags full.
Wow.
Cool. Hey, I want to see it when you finish it.
It'll be on my YouTube channel. So
Mhm. I don't know anything of that. You'll have to show me. I'm not from Missouri, but you have to show me. My mother was from Missouri.
You know, Terry was born in Missouri, and his Yancey side of the family are from Missouri and still live up around Sedalia, around that area.
Sedalia is only about an hour away from me.
He's got a half brother that lives in Sedalia, has an
Oh my goodness.
auctioneer up there. So.
Awesome.
Did you get all them cut up, Rita? All them, that
They're
whole
cut
bucket full?
up. They're cut up. The jars are washed, and I've got that little burner. The big pot's heating. I've got the canner back here waiting, so I'm fixing to jar them up here in a little bit. I think I need to go find me some rings, and I've got to go get another box of flats because when there's only 12 in a box, you use them and plus a piece of another box. And so
Yeah.
what did Linda do? Linda do something?
She's telling us how hot it is where she is.
Oh my goodness, Linda. I have another friend that lives in Topeka, Kansas. Well, two actually.
Under 2 index. Wow.
Do you know, in 47 years living in the state of Missouri, I have only been to the fairgrounds in Sedalia twice.
And Marla, he still got that hay hook, and I bet I could walk out there and find it right now. And he probably used it a couple years ago. He didn't put square bells up last year, so he didn't use it. But the year before, I bet he did. I don't know what year that was, but he was in 9th grade agri, and I was in the 8th grade. And I remember that hay hook. I'm not lying. He walked into that class swinging that hay hook. Even back then, he was tall and skinny. I don't have a basement, Cheryl, but we built onto the house, and I had this special room with just shelves for the canning and the storage.
That's nice, Rita.
Mm-hmm. I needed it. It's not no fun to can stuff and not know where to put it. And when you want something, it's in the three boxes, boxes stacked up on top of boxes in the closet or under the bed. So 54 degrees and raining in Western Washington.
Goodness.
Pass
Hi,
on
Karen.
pass on the hay hook. They'll put, or the son may get it. He uses it every once in a while when he's getting square bales of hay to feed horses or something. So it'll be around here for somebody someday, that old hay hook. And I told the story enough. They ought to know about that hay hook. So. I'm gonna go get another thing or two down to the basement.
When Mom and I were doing so much canning, they had a house that had a basement in it. And there was one room upstairs. It was kind of like a utility room, but it didn't have any plumbing or anything in it. And Daddy built a whole bunch of big old shelves for Mom. And that's where the canning, where most of it set. And then they had space underneath of their staircase, and that was surrounded by concrete, and we put a bunch of it in there. Daddy made up some shelves in there so that we weren't stacking boxes on top of boxes, and that was how we kept stuff. And then, of course, the house that Dave and I lived in, he had built a good-sized closet in my kitchen and put some shelves in it, and so there was a bunch of it sat there. And if we had any overflow, I had some sets of metal shelves that sat in my utility room, and I'd put any overflow there. But Mom and I, we kept a pretty close watch on it, and if I ran out of something, I could just go to their house and get it. It made it easy because they had a lot more storage than I did. When we built that log house, he did not put any kind of a cellar in. He didn't put a basement in. It was just sitting on a big old thick foundation, and foundation was 3 feet deep and 12 inches wide. And
My mom does a lot of comments.
it just, and you know, even in the winter time, even with the vents underneath of that house, it never dropped below 60 degrees underneath of that house, even in the coldest winter. We didn't have to worry about pipes freezing up or nothing. And in the summertime, of course, it always stayed cool. The average temperature down there was between 60 and 70. And so, but it was just a big old crawl space that's about 3 feet deep.
Wow.
I wouldn't go down in it. I was like, nope, nope, nope. You go right ahead, darling.
Oh,
You go down there with the snakes and the bugs. You have fun. I ain't doing it.
Don't you know it was full of spiders?
Oh, and I was almost as afraid of them as I was a snake. I hate snakes.
Oh, I don't like snakes. There's still a rubber snake out here on the porch. What are you
Uh-oh.
doing? What are you doing here? He scared me for a second. I thought you was back there cutting hay.
Oh,
You done
with that one.
with that one? Okay, he's back. What does
Hi,
that mean?
Mary.
That probably means I'm going to fix him something to eat, don't I? I wasn't going to cook for him today.
oh, Mr. Terry.
Hey, say hi to him.
Hey,
Hey. Oh, didn't get him in. They can't see. Come over here. I can't turn it around that way. They see all that mess on that side of the room. At least you can be sociable. You can be sociable. It's good to
Howdy,
sit.
Gary.
Here, sit right there.
Now point it at the ceiling.
He got here just in time to help me get these beans in the jar, didn't he? There you are. We got Kim. There's Kim, and there's Fish. And this is Ashley Ratliff in Kentucky. Fish is in Oklahoma. Kim's in Missouri.
yeah, all pretty close here then.
Yeah, they're neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Kim's neighbors. Really about 4 hours from
I'm
me.
neighbors with all of them.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, ask him something, or he won't talk. If you don't.
Are you gonna go pick Rita some more beans today, Terry?
And I told them about your hay hook the other day, and they're asking if you know where that hay hook is. You know which hay hook I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I ain't sure where it's at.
Oh, I thought it was hanging out here on the porch.
Maybe in the building somewhere.
Well, it's here though.
Hey, Terry, I want you to do me a favor and kiss that cow for me in the morning.
Kiss her or kick her?
I said,
What'd
kiss
you
her.
say?
Give her a kiss.
The cows with the cows when he goes and checks cows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They ain't real social.
Every morning.
That's the wild bunch back there. They hadn't been handled a whole lot. You have to get one that you're used to handling. I've got one or two I can hold her neck.
Yes, you can.
He won't even do me that.
I say Terry's gonna pick Rita some more beans today.
You gonna pick me some more beans?
Well, if I do, it'll be later this afternoon. That sun's pretty hot right now. I think the thermometer on the tractor said about 92.
Oh, my goodness.
And about 100% humidity, so I'm about to melt.
I bet.
Goodness. Well, you need to sit down and stay and cool off a while then.
Well, probably. Probably something I've got a jug of ice water I'm fixing to start to work on.
I did send you some water.
Oh,
Since he's here, though, I am going to sign off, you that gal. So don't you think?
I'm going to sign off too.
He's going to sign off too.
See ya.
All right,
I'll
folks. I love
See you
y'all.
later, Tara.
see y'all later.
Bye, y'all. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.